Yeah, he's certainly feeling better today than he was yesterday. So that's positive. But the medical team is monitoring him on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So we'll see. We've got 36 hours to go. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll see whatever decision they take. But yeah, certainly actually he's feeling a little bit better today than he was yesterday.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Does that mean that he's not technically out of the first batch just yet?
Yeah, I mean certainly medical team hasn't ruled him out as yet. But so we'll keep monitoring on a day-to-day basis. We've got 36 hours. So yeah, we'll obviously wait to take a decision at the last minute if we possibly can, and we'll see how he feels day after tomorrow.
Yeah, Rahul, I mean, the way New Zealand won yesterday, and which also looks very good, black and white. What do you think will be a step total? I mean, it's too early still, how the match stuff started now. So what do you feel will be a step total?
Just one run more than the opposition, I think, will be very safe. Uh, Look, it's hard to tell. Yeah. It's hard to predict each condition. I think that's going to be the beauty of this World Cup. I think there's so many venues that these matches are going to be played in. So many different wickets on those venues. To be honest, each of the squares, some of them, even in India, in some of the squares, you have red soil, you have black soil, you have a mix of red and black. So I think each one is going to be unique. So I don't think you can go in and say that this is going to be a safe total or that's not going to be a safe total. You're going to just have to adapt and react based on those conditions. Ground sizes will be different. Probably play on a slightly relatively bigger ground here in Chennai when compared to, say, I don't know if you went to Bangalore or you went to Delhi. So I think each venue will be different. We'll just have to assess and see what it's like.
Rahul, did you watch Rahul Dravid's innings yesterday?
A little bit, yeah, bits and pieces of it. I thought both of them played really well. Obviously, got New Zealand off to a really flying start in that tournament and looked like the wicket really became a good one as the game went on. Yeah, I thought both of them batted really well. It's a big partnership.
Did you know him before?
I mean, he played the test match against us in Kanpur, and I think, yeah, I do remember him because he saved the test match.
No,
So,
yeah. Your name and Tendulkar's name is there in his name. That Rahul Dravid RA is there and Sachin's team is there. So,
yeah, just watching him bat yesterday and hit 5 6s. I think maybe it was more the chin that was there. Not sure I hit the ball off the square at all. I couldn't hit it off the square, so maybe the Sachin in it helped him yesterday, certainly.
Rahul,
Yeah.
16 years ago, you led India into the World Cup, and today you're the coach getting into this World Cup. Mind space wise, wherein lies the difference?
Uh, I mean, you're a player, and I don't know, it's not like. So it's a long time ago, yeah, since I was a player. I almost forget that I was actually a cricket player at one stage, to be very honest with you. I've moved on from that. I don't even think of myself as a player anymore. So yeah, so maybe that's the mind space difference. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm focused on helping the group and supporting the group to do the best they can. I mean, in the end, that's the job of a support staff, and that's the job of the coach. Really, is to support the vision of the captain and help him execute his vision over the course of this next couple of months, and I hope we can do that really well.
Do you get as tensed as you used to get when you were the captain or a player? Is it the same, the feeling?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess I think you recognize as a coach that there's only once the game starts, and once the guys cross the line, there is only so much you can do, right? We're not gonna, as coaches, we don't score a single run or we don't take a single wicket in this whole tournament. All we can do is really support the players. So a lot of our work, to be very honest with you, is in the days in the lead up to these games. It's in the practice sessions. Is in hopefully the kind of mind space that we get people in. It's supporting the captain and the team in whatever way we can in the lead up. But honestly, once the game starts, it is the captain's team. It's the team that needs to take it forward. They need to execute it, and they need to do the job. So yeah, we are here to support his vision and support him. And so really, our work. I mean, as a coach, I see my work in the lead up to the games, in the lead up to this World Cup, and trying to get the squad that we got eventually, building up the team, building up the squad, and then hoping to allow the players to really play and express themselves and have a really good fun tournament.
Yeah. Rahul,
how important is it to read the pitches? I mean, given that that will decide what combination you put out. So how important is it to read the pitches well, and how much of an advantage is it that India is playing more familiar with the pitches?
I mean, in honestly, we all try and read pitches as well as we possibly can. Both teams will try and do that. But in the end, it's about executing your skills on those pitches. It's all going to come down to actually the guys who can execute the skills. Sure, sometimes you read a pitch right and you might be able to decide whether you bat first or bowl first. But in the end, you need to, execute your skills on that pitch. It's not. It's no. I don't think that this World Cup is going to be such a. It's going to be decided by whether you've read a pitch correctly. It's going to decide how you play on those conditions and on the variety of conditions that you're going to get. They're going to be different conditions, like I said, and different grounds. I think adaptability is going to be a really huge issue. Not issue. I think a good challenge in this World Cup, and how teams adapt to the various venues, various conditions, various pitches, various bowling that they'll have to face. I think will probably decide how successful teams are. And I think just building a squad, for us, I think it's really important to be able to build a squad that allowed us to play 2 or 3 different combinations based on the conditions that we see on a particular day. And based on whatever we see, I think we'll try and mix and match some of those squads and some of those combinations that we can put out.
Rahul, yesterday Shreya had nearly 1 hour session, and you also had a special session with him. So does it look like Shreya is the number 4? That's the debate going on. It's still Stan Kishan or someone else for number 4?
Yeah, we'll know at 2 p.m. day after tomorrow.
Rahul, this 50-over cricket has always been talk of the doomsday around one day cricket, but this World Cup, and when you look at the FTP over the next 4 years and the number of ODIs each team is playing, including India, do you think we've reached like a seminal moment in terms of the format itself, that it's almost like make the most of what we have now and we don't know what the future holds?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't played a lot of 50 overs cricket over the last bit. I mean, I think that's been one of the things that I've kind of noticed in the couple of years that I've been coaching the team as well, is that because I think there were 2 T20 World Cups that happened back to back, and then there's always the World Test Championship at the back of everything that you're doing. It's just a constant cycle that goes on. Sometimes maybe this format over the last couple of years, and maybe it's because of COVID, I can't exactly say sure, but it just felt like we haven't played a lot of one-day cricket. And even when we've played it, we've always been kind of, except over the last few months, we've probably been prioritizing other things and having to protect our players and manage our players. Maybe in this format, we've used this format. Going forward, I think it's still a really important format. I think it's a fantastic format to play. Obviously, how much of it is played will be decided by a variety of factors, and obviously with T20 cricket being more and more T20 matches being added onto the calendar, it will make it difficult to have potentially the same number of one-day games that you probably used to have, say, between the 2015 and 2019 cycle. I don't think we'll ever go back to those days, but I sincerely hope that we still keep valuing and playing this format, because for me, I think nothing. You've got Test cricket, but I think just to give you an example, I think like the Siraj spell in the Asia Cup final. I mean, that was like the 6 overs of really top class bowling. In a T20 game, you never see that, right? He would have even if he was bowling that well, he potentially would have bowled 1 over, 2 overs, maybe 3 on a good day, not more than that. But here you got to see a full gamut of his skills and his abilities, which I think one-day cricket allows you to do that. It allows you to see great spells. It still allows you to see really good innings like we've seen, yesterday from both those 2 left-handers. It allows you to see a lot of good spin. It allows you to see rotation of strike. It means, you see a lot more, you see creativity as well. So as a coach and as someone who loves the game of cricket, I'd love to see this format thrive and do well.
How the way cricket has gone in the last few years, middle overs have become very important. Do you think this World Cup will be won in the middle overs? And will you sort of look to be more aggressive with both batting and bowling?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is quite obvious that the middle overs have become quite important, because especially with the extra fielder in the ring, the 2 new balls. So you've got to sort of in some ways beat teams in those middle overs, whether it's by scoring more runs than them or being able to take more wickets. So yes, I think there will be a focus on trying to be maybe a little bit more aggressive with both bat and ball. Wicket taking through those middle overs really helps you at the back end and the depth when you don't have to bowl to say the main batsman when you've got into the lower order if you're bowling at the death. And certainly with maybe the balls becoming softer and in certain kinds of wickets and certain kind of conditions, if the game does slow down or the wickets do slow down, then being able to maximize those first 30-35 overs also is could be a big factor. He was always a very good player. There again, I mean, I think that's sometimes the nature of our country, right? I mean, 2 good knocks and suddenly he's cracked it. No, it doesn't work like that. I think he's always been a fantastic player. 2 good games or 2 bad games, honestly, didn't change it for us. We've always known that there's a certain ability and a talent that he brings to both those white ball formats for us. Yeah, it's just a question of, I think just the confidence that it would have given him. I think the fact that we were able to set him up beautifully for the role at the back end and the confidence that it would have given him, was fantastic. And it's also really good to see that, he's working on certain things. We've also been chatting to him a little bit about finding different ways to score runs. We know that his preferred route of scoring runs in, say, the T20 format has been square of the wicket. He's played a lot of cricket, scores a lot of runs square of the wicket, which makes him, incredibly effective and absolutely a gun in T20 cricket. But in one-day cricket, you've sometimes got to find other ways to play as well, and other areas of the field to access. And credit to him, he's working really hard. He's really developing other facets to his game as well. So always, everyone is a work in progress. Everyone is constantly looking to improve, and the same with Surya. But the confidence he would have gained, like you rightly said, from the last few games, is fantastic for us. We know he's in a really good space. And if he's called upon to play in this tournament, the first match or any match, we know that we've got him in a really good space in terms of his skill. जैसे अब जब बात कर रहे थे इसके बारे में, तो मेरे दिमाग में यही सोच आ रही थी कि कितनी एक्साइटिंग बात है ये कि हम 9 सिटीज़ में जा रहे हैं, होपफुली 11 सिटीज़ में जाएंगे, हमारे लोगों के सामने खेलेंगे, हमको मौका मिलेगा कि हमारे इंडियन फैंस के सामने हमारी जो स्किल्स है वो दिखाने के लिए। तो मैं मानता हूँ ये एक बहुत बड़ी एक्साइटिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी है। हमारे देश में ये टूर्नामेंट किया जा रहा है, हमारे लोग हैं, हमको देखने को, उनको हमारे जो प्लेयर हैं, जो उनके फेवरेट प्लेयर्स हैं, वो जाएंगे, हर जगह में जाएंगे, उनको देखने को मिलेगा, हमारे प्लेयर्स लाइव देखने को मिलेगा, हर सिटी में जाएंगे, हर एयरपोर्ट में जाएंगे तो लोग हम लोगों को देखेंगे, हम उनके फेवरेट प्लेयर्स को देखेंगे। तो एक बड़ी मेरे ख्याल से ये एक बड़ी और खुशी का जो त्यौहार कहते हैं, या एक बड़ी एक्साइटिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी है हमारे लिए कि हम पूरा देश घूमें और हमारी जो स्किल है वो लोगों के सामने दिखाएं।